for higher gas mileage cars, and then tax credits to help you afford them. Because until we get a market, they will be more expensive, and people won't be able to buy them. So we got to bring the price down, increase the market, and I would even consider releasing oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve in order to drive the price down. I think we need a president who gets up in the White House and actually looks at the gas prices. Now I know too that we've got to restore our leadership and our moral authority in the world, don't we?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Because we've got to be a leader again. You can't be a leader if nobody's following. So we've got to get back to leading, which means working with whenever possible other nations. That begins with ending the war in Iraq and bringing our troops home. I would start to bring them home within 60 days the right way. Carefully. That they have to take responsibility because our young men and women have performed magnificently. But there is no military solution. They have fulfilled their mission. Now it's time for our president to say thank you. Job well done. Godspeed. We're bringing you home and we're taking care of you and your families. We have had to work to make sure that our veterans get what they deserve and that our military families are taken care of. You know, one of the people traveling with me is a friend of mine who heads up something called the Intrepid Foundation. It does a lot of work on behalf of the military and military families. It created what are called Fisher houses at all of our Army hospitals, our Navy hospitals, where families can come and be with their loved one, their wounded warrior, while that young man or woman is taken care of. They help to fund and raise money for the Intrepid Center at Brooke Medical Center in San Antonio, which is a state-of-the-art facility that I was very honored to be part of the unveiling of a few months ago. And in 2003, my friend who's here with me, Bill White, called and said, I want to tell you a story. He told me a story about a young woman who just lost her husband in Iraq. And she lost her husband, and she was given $6,000 as the death benefit. She had a little girl. She was told she had to get off the base within 90 days. She was told that she and her daughter were no longer eligible for the medical care that they had. Her daughter was in the middle of, some treatments. And I said to Bill, that's just so wrong. I don't think the American people would agree with that. No. So I went to work, and I helped to raise that death benefit to $500,000. Basis for a year because they don't have anywhere to go, and to let them continue to have access to medical care for a year. You can imagine what it's like to lose your husband, your wife, your father, or your mother, and then lose everything else. I don't think that's what America wanted. And there are so many ways we can honor our veterans. It's not enough to give a speech or hold a parade. We've got to make sure the VA is fully funded. We've got to get that disability compensation backlog cleared out. We got to stand up, as I did a few months ago, and say to the Pentagon, no, you are not going to the bedsides of wounded soldiers and asking for their signing bonuses back. That is not. Respects and honors our military military in the world, but force should be used as a last resort, not a first resort. I am absolutely confident we can meet any challenge we have, seize all of the opportunities that I think await. You know, I'm so honored to have John Glenn's endorsement. He said, you know, he'd lived a long time, and he remembers what it was like when our country was aiming toward the stars, when we had our sights set on the moon, when people were really convinced there wasn't anything we couldn't do. That's how I want America to feel again. As they think about not just their own lives, but what they want to do to be part of this great country we love so much. But I can't do this without you. This election on Tuesday is one of the most important in our country's history. And when people think about voting, you know, you think about voting for or against somebody on any reason whatsoever. And that's our prerogative. You know, it's great. In America, in the polling place, every person's equal, aren't we? Yeah. Nobody's vote is worth any more or any less than anybody else as long as we can get them counted. And I think you all took care of that in Ohio last election.
Don't be so sure.
But I want you to sort of think about Tuesday in a slightly different way. Who would you hire for this job?